SEI has been absolutely flying this past week. We've been talking about it on the channel more frequently, and literally all of the metrics that it could possibly hit, it is blowing past them. We're going to talk about all of that in this video. Plus, we're going to talk about how you should navigate your next SEI trade. But before we get started, welcome back to the channel. My name is Doc. Throughout the day, I'm a resident physician, and at night and these super early mornings, I take you guys on my crypto and investing journey. Not gonna lie, did not plan to do an SEI video this morning, but I feel like the market conditions kind of said like, hey Doc, you've got to do this video because it's absolutely been screaming. Here we're looking at the SEI price on the 7-day. And guys, we're up 57% on the 7-day chart. It's absolutely been screaming. We actually did a post on this 9 days ago. And, you know, SEI Army showed out 3,000 views. So really appreciate that. As you're coming in, consider hitting the like button. It really helps the algorithm. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So like we said, SEI at 30 cents right now. Within the past couple of days, it got up to 32.5-ish cents, which is great. Like really the price has been flying. Not long ago, this was at below 20 cents. And we've been saying, I mentioned this in this video multiple times, SEI below 20 cents is an absolute buy, like an absolute buy. We've actually been talking about this for quite some time on the channel. I remember this when it was at 15 cents. Again, you have to have conviction in strong alts. And I think this is actually a good kind of thought experiment moving forward, right? Different alts are going to pop off at different times. And if you have the conviction to buy, that's really where you're going to make your money, right? So we see on the crypto bubbles here, this is the weekly chart on the crypto bubbles, SEI up 54%. The only one that I see here that's outperforming it on the week is Pengu. We've actually been talking about Pengu in my Discord, maybe an opportunity to short it there. But this is an SEI video. So SEI absolutely ripping. And this is as Bitcoin has had this nice little run up over the past week, right? Bitcoin sitting at $107,000. We're going to talk about some catalysts that could send Bitcoin and SEI up to new all-time highs. So I really liked this tweet here. SEI flipped SUI and is higher than AVAX, ETH, and Tron in daily transactions, right? So smart people know what's coming to SEI Network. And the real thing is like real momentum. And I feel like the momentum has very, very much been there for SEI. We'll actually talk about that here in just a second as well. Now, obviously, anytime you're comparing SEI, which by the way, guys, is ranked number 64 on the top 100, not long ago, just a week or two ago, this was ranked 91. But anytime you're comparing a crypto that's rated 61 out of like top 2, right? ETH being number 2. You're in good company, right? This is a great comparison to have. And obviously these numbers are going to fluctuate as time changes, right? Because there's obviously more volume on different chains at different times. But the fact that we're up against some of these juggernauts is absolutely huge. More and more people are using SEI. And guess what? I don't expect that to change. I really do think more and more people are going to get on board with this. And just to be totally frank with you, for me, kind of the holy crap, I mean, I knew that SEI was going to do really, really well, but the thing that like was the, oh yeah, this is for sure going to pop off is when James from Invest Answers, great channel, by the way. I'm part of his premium Discord. He has a lot of great alpha. When he did this SEI, they have what it takes to slay Sol. And like a lot of their metrics are really, really good. And my bad, that was actually one from a year ago. This is the one that I was referencing, SUI versus SEI. When he did this 11 days ago, I was like, oh, the mainstream folks are finally starting to recognize it. And when I say mainstream, I just mean that like he doesn't go into super small alts. He kind of talks about the big guns. So it was just good to see that he made this video. And spoiler, SEI, they win that comparison. Okay, so we talked about the daily transactions. The other big thing is all-time highs for total value locked, right? Over $607 million locked on the SEI chain. Guys, my last video, I said that this was just breaking over 400 million. And then a couple videos after that, I said how, oh my gosh, SEI's breaking 500 million. Now we're at 600 million total value locked. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion, before SEI has over $750 million in total value locked. And this is really reassuring, right? Total value locked, the way that I like to think of it, as how much confidence users have within a specific L1. And in my opinion, more and more folks are starting to recognize that SEI is super fast with a 400 millisecond time to finality. They're super efficient, super fast, and adoption really is coming. So in my opinion, it's just a matter of time before you see me making a video and this says, hey, we're now at 750 million total value locked. And then probably in that video, I'll be saying, hey guys, it's just a matter of time before we have $1 billion locked on SEI. So this is very, very reassuring. This last tweet, I thought this was like spot on, right? Last week, Sei Network, they took the top spot for chain mindshare. And chain mindshare, just think of this as like how much attention different chains are getting. And obviously there's some big dogs in here, right? Sui, Aptos Link, Sol, BNB, Dog. I keep hearing more and more about this. So SEI, nonetheless, tons of mindshare overall. I thought this was like really, really reassuring. And it kind of just solidifies that a ton of people are talking about SEI. So the last thing that I think could send SEI to just keep roaring, in addition to a ton of alts and Bitcoins, is today, Monday, the Senate, they're expected to vote on the big, beautiful bill after advancing in debate. So we've been talking about this in the Discord, which, by the way, guys, completely free Discord, link down below. We have nothing to sell you, just an awesome, awesome community. But we've been talking about this in the Discord, how yes, this is probably bad in the long term to increase the US's deficit. But if this bill gets passed, we will add to the deficit, right? I know I hear the other sides of the argument. We might outgrow it. But as of right now, the consensus is that this will add to the deficit. And if we add to the deficit, that means we're going to print a ton of money, right? And that's really, really good for risk on assets like Bitcoin and super strong alts like SEI. So in my opinion, I think this is going to be good for crypto. Yes, I realize that might be a short-sighted view, but I do think it's reassuring. Okay, if we look at SEI here on BTCC, it really is screaming, and I'm going to tell you why you should not short this. I can't give you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. But SEI, we've shown a ton of strength here, right? We are above all of these averages. So these three averages lines here, this is the 14, 21, and 35 day simple moving average, and we're above all of them, right? Like really, really showing a ton of strength. Not long ago, right, middle of January, like I said, we were down at the 15-cent mark. And if we take a look at the Bollinger Bands, we're actually like near the top. Let me get rid of these moving averages. We're actually the top of the Bollinger Bands. And if you're in the Discord, you might know that I love shorting cryptos once they get to the top of this Bollinger Band. And that's because the Bollinger Bands typically respects price, right? You can see this huge move up. So the Bollinger Bands had to adjust, and then the price came back down. The Bollinger Bands adjusted. And again, the price stays within the Bollinger Bands. So we've been flirting with this top part of the Bollinger Bands, which sits right around 31-ish cents. I can tell you right now, I will not be shorting this because I think you got to let your runners run. Personally, I do not want to short this right now. I have a pretty big size of bag of Sei, and I'm just going to let it run because I really do think that it's just a matter of time before we get back to new all-time highs, right? If we look at the max here, you can see this was over $1, which is really, really reassuring. It's roughly a 3x from here. And I think my thumbnail is probably going to say something about like SEI, new all-time highs. And I'm really referencing the total value locked here, but also the mind share. Like it is really ripping. And because of that, I don't want to kind of clip my gains. I'm going to let my runners run. So because of that, I am just letting this go despite it being at the top of the Bollinger Bands. If you guys do want to leverage trade any cryptos, including Sei, I'll put my BTCC link down below. You can get a 10% bonus on first-time deposits. They are just an awesome platform to use. No KYC, no VPN. You can do a ton of leverage. I think on Sei, you can do a 50x leverage. And if you guys want to see me make a dedicated leverage trading video, because honestly, you can make outsized returns if you're smart about this. If you want me to make that leverage video, comment down below and I'll consider making that. Also down below, again, is my link to my free Discord. Really appreciate all of the support on the channel. Let me know down below, where do you think SEI is heading this cycle? Do you think it's going to put in new all-time highs? And would you like me to make a leverage trading kind of tutorial 101 to walk you through it? If you guys got any value to this, consider hitting the like button, subscribing. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you guys in my next video.